mental health and recovery, where we share healing conversations daily around mental health awareness, mental health, stigma, discrimination, and also trauma and trauma recovery. So welcome back to the channel, guys. I hope everyone is doing well. This is night 4 of my live Q&As. So get involved. If you're not watching live, please get in the comments and let me know what you think of the live. As always, be respectful. As always, keep it clean. As always, let me just check the chat. Let me just check the chat settings are on. Make sure the chat is. There we go. So just making sure the chat settings were on there. So how is everyone? I've been struggling the last few days mentally due to flashbacks and nightmares, leaving me feeling very empty, feeling very unemotional, numb, and yeah, it's been challenging, but I forced myself to come live again to try and talk to people, to try and raise awareness and start the conversation around mental health that many people avoid, because it still is a subject that many people avoid, and many people across the world don't want to talk about their mental health in fear of stigma, in fear of discrimination, and that's not right. And I think we all can do better. I think we can all play our part in fostering more empathy towards each other, more support, and champion each other on social media and being part of a community and growing a message. I think we can all do our part in that, and that's what I'm doing. That's what I'm trying to do with my content. I'm trying to inspire people to share their mental health story. So I think it's important that I continue to do that. I think it's important that I continue to go live when I can, when I'm mentally able to, when I'm in a place where I'm okay to talk. I think it's important that I still go live, even though, I didn't feel like coming live today because of the nightmares, because of the flashbacks, because of the PTSD. It's left me feeling a bit numb, a bit empty. And I haven't got therapy for another few days, so it's been challenging, but I forced myself to come live, to start the conversation, to raise awareness and try and help people and to talk about their mental health, and that's all I'm trying to do. Keon Mayo says hi. Hello, thank you for the follow. I really appreciate that, Keon. Sorry if I mispronounce your name. I've never been very good at pronouncing names, but I will do my best. But thank you for the follow. Don't forget, guys, this is a live Q&A. Get your questions in about mental health, trauma recovery. Like I said, channel disclaimer, I am not a doctor. I am not a therapist. I am not a counsellor. I am someone with lived experience of mental illness, and I am trying to just be there for people to help, support, and talk to them. Owen Jenkins says hi. Hello, Owen. How are you? And Keon says you did it right. Thank you very much, my friend. Owen Jenkins says, how do you recover? Good question. That's a really good question. And recovery is possible, but challenging. And I think the first thing we need to do as people is accept that we need help, is accept that we can't do this alone. And once you embrace that, and embrace the help and embrace the support, whether that be from a therapist, a counsellor, or a coach, or whoever it may be, you can then understand that recovery is possible. But first, I think we have to find some acceptance, because a lot of people don't want to admit that they're struggling with their mental health. So acceptance, I would say, accept you need help and embrace the help. That's how you recover. Football Yo Boy 45 says hello. You are my new favorite YouTuber. I'm going to sub. Thank you very much, Football Boy. That means a lot to me. Thank you for the subscription. Like I said, guys, this channel is all about mental health, sharing stories. Owen Jenkins says, who can I go to? Well, Owen, I don't know where you are in the world, but in the UK, we have mental health charities. We have the Samaritans. There's online counsellors. There's therapists. Your local doctor. Mental health helplines. Life coaches. Many different aspects and many different avenues you can go down for support. But obviously, support will look different for each individual. For me, I am in trauma therapy. I reached out and I asked for help and I got support. And I'm in counselling for that. But it's important that you reach out and to as many avenues as you can and find the right type of support for you. Because everyone's journey is different. Everyone's treatment is different, and everyone's recovery journey will be different. So reach out, do your research. But there's mental health channels on YouTube that can help. Like I said, they're not licensed therapists or doctors, but they can help start the conversation and make you feel like you're not going through this alone. So it's important that you don't keep silent. You don't suffer in silence, because that's the worst thing you can do. Don't suffer in silence. Ask for help. Reach out for help, and some people will be there for you. Like I'm trying to be for people on my mental health channel. That's why I created Pieces of a Broken Mind, to try and help people and show people that you can talk about your mental health. And I think that's important. I think it's important that we help each other. I think it's important that we show support of each other. Show some empathy, because there's too much hate in the world. There's too much noise in the world. We forgot how to be human beings. Samuel says, shh. The first moron of the evening. If you don't like the live, then please leave. This is a safe space to talk about mental health. So Samuel 55, you're a moron, and you've just got yourself blocked. Goodbye. Owen Jenkins says, what have you gone through, or is it private? Well, I can't tell you, I'm not going to discuss the true reason that I've got PTSD, but I've been diagnosed with complex PTSD, which is a culmination of many different things that have happened in my life. Some my own fault, some not my own fault, that I now suffer with flashbacks and nightmares. And until I've worked through that with my counsellor, then I don't think it's right for me to, share that with the world. But unfortunately, certain things have happened in my life. Certain mistakes have been made. And I'm trying to grow, and I'm trying to change, and that's all I can do. And I've reached out. I've asked for support. I've got the support. I'm working through it. And I think it's important that people understand that in 2022, I tried to end my life twice because I was that low. I was that depressed. I was that empty. I was that numb. 2 attempts I tried to take my life. Once in February of 2022 and once in May of 2022. And all the content is there. I documented it all on YouTube. I've been honest and open about the self-harm, about the depression, about the anxiety, about the nightmares, the flashbacks. And until I've worked through them completely, then, I don't think it's right for me to share too intimately about what happened. Getting a lot. Let's just check the chat. There we go. Stephen says, hey bro, I caught your live stream once before. Keep up the great work. You seem like a genuinely nice bloke. The prick trolls try and outdo each other. Fucking morons. You're right, Stephen. They are morons. And I do bite sometimes, and I shouldn't. I shouldn't give them the airtime. But genuinely, they are morons. But I appreciate your support. Thank you very much. I hope you're doing well. And I hope you're having a nice weekend. Get your questions in, guys. I'm here, for the next 50 minutes now, or just over an hour, to discuss and talk about mental health. So get your questions in. Owen Jenkins says, I have to go now, but you should carry on with what you're doing because it's very helpful to people. Thank you very much, Owen. And I will carry on, and I will continue to upload content surrounding mental health to try and help people. And I will continue to go live twice a week and, try and help people. But thank you for your support, Owen. Thank you very much. Really appreciate that. Do you play... No, I don't know what that game is, no. May, I don't know what that game is, I'm afraid, no. This live is this is a safe space where people can come and ask questions and talk about mental health recovery and trauma, and trauma recovery. So, get your questions in, guys. Happy to answer any questions. I'll be as honest as I can. As I always am. I'm honest with myself and I'm honest with you. That's all we can do. That's all we can be. That's what's important, is being true to yourself and being honest with yourself. And believe me, if you can face your own demons, if you can face your own feelings, then you can face what the world has to throw at you. Because many people's biggest fear is facing their own selves, facing their own feelings, because they don't want to admit certain things. But you have to be enabled to move forward in life. So, don't suffer in silence. Don't be negative. Don't think like that. There's no hope and there's no support. There is. You just need to go out and find it, and find the right one for you. The right one for me is the therapist that I'm working with now. PTSD, depression, anxiety, ADHD, it's a lot to manage, but I still fight every day. I still go upload content every day. I still try and move forward. I still try and help people. Stephen 1053 says, I've been in a psych ward after a breakdown once before, so I appreciate what you do. Do you agree that therapy is not for everyone because it honestly makes things worse for me? That's my view. Stephen, I do agree that therapy is not for everyone because, like I said earlier, therapy is a very personal thing, and it works for some people and it doesn't work for another. Each individual is different. Each individual's recovery journey will be different. And a lot of people find therapy too intrusive. So I agree, it's not for everyone. But for me, and in my experience, it's brought me back from the brink of suicide. It's brought me back from the brink of darkness. And I can only speak positively, but that's my experiences. But I do understand that it's not for everyone, and everyone has the right to find the right type of help that's going to be beneficial to them. So, great question, Stephen. Thank you very much. I hope you're having a nice weekend. Get your questions in, guys. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. To Pieces of a Broken Mind. I created this channel because my mind was broken, and I'm still putting the pieces back together. So it's a very apt name for the channel, and it's all about fostering community and friendship and togetherness. Antonio says, okay. Hello, Antonio. Get your questions in, guys. Happy to answer any questions. That's what I'm here to do, connect. Don't forget, you can send me messages in the community tab as well. You can, comment in there. Hello, Antonio. Hope you're well. And don't forget, there's some great content on my channel as well, guys. There's various videos about me talking about, my journey through mental illness. So, make sure you check out those videos as well. Antonio says, to be fair, I have the same problem as well. My brain is like, I'm being so stressed. Life is challenging, Antonio, for a lot of people right now. And the stresses of uh, today's society, really put a lot of unnecessary pressure on people. And I think a lot of people out there are struggling with stress. Um, and I can only say that I resonate with you. I find, I know that feeling. I've been there. um I still go back there. But what can we do? Keep moving forward. That's what we got to do. Keep moving forward. Whatever life throws at us, just accept it, face it head on, and keep moving forward. And never give up. That's all you can do, Antonio. Never give up. Things will get better. You have to believe that. We have to believe that, and we have to hold on to hope, and we have to hold on to the hope that tomorrow will be a better day. Stephen 1053 says, do you have a men's shed program in the UK? I found that concept way more helpful than therapy. I would definitely recommend the men's shed concept if you have access to it. We do have something like that. I think it's called Andy Man Men's Club or something like that. I do watch a lot of content around mental health. I do follow other mental health creators, and I do watch videos. I do try to talk to people who have mental health disorders. So they're on the same wavelength as me. So like I said, whatever works best for the individual is the best way for them. Whether that be a support group, a therapist, a counselor, a life coach, a friend, whoever, whatever is right for that individual is what they should do. And they need to put themselves first. But great question, thank you. Great recommendation, and I do think we have something like that in the United Kingdom as well. So, but there could be more. There needs to be more. There needs to be more conversation surrounding mental health. There needs to be more support groups. There needs to be more communities on social media platforms where people can go and feel safe and feel comfortable and be around people that can resonate with how they're feeling at certain aspects during certain times of their life. So that's important. Of course it is. Anyway, how's everyone's weekend? Don't forget, guys, get your questions in. This is a live Q&A surrounding mental health and recovery. If you have any questions about me, my channel, my content, what you should do, guys, is so funny. The very first video I did, long form video, I say long form, my first video that's longer than a few minutes that I ever did on YouTube, explaining the day that I wanted to end my life. Looking at the shitty laptop I was filming it on, and remembering filming the video and seeing how poor the camera quality is it's quite funny. But the video is very powerful and very honest. So I would, if you've got nothing to watch tonight, go on my channel and watch the featured video on my homepage, because it's my very first YouTube upload of a long form video. So and I've been going for before, what was it, 22 for 4 years. So yeah, I got some great content for you guys to watch. Not only my own opinions, but I also share opinions of well-known life coaches, well-known therapists, well-known motivational speakers, because I think it's important for people to have not just my opinion and my feelings and my story, other people's stories as well, so we can talk about these things, we can engage with these things, and we can grow together. Stephen says, I appreciate your honesty. Come on, people, like and subscribe. Thank you, Stephen. It is absolutely free, you're right. Look, Stephen, I'm honest with myself, and I think a lot of people who struggle with mental illness, like myself, initially found it hard to accept that we need help. But once I was honest with myself, once I looked at myself in the mirror and said, you can't do this alone, you need help, that was the turning point for me. So thank you very much, Stephen, for your kind words and support. Really means a lot to me. Thank you. Noggy Woggy says hi. Hello, how are you doing? Get your questions in, guys. Happy to answer any questions. If you have any debate points that you want to talk about, is there any subjects you particularly want to talk about surrounding mental health? Get your questions in. Noggy Woggy says, "Good, you." Yeah, I'm doing fine. Thank you very much, mate. I am pushing myself forward. Do I play Roblox? No, I don't. I'm afraid. I don't play Roblox. But I'm a big fan of the Resident Evil games. And I am looking forward to the new one coming out next weekend. I love the Resident Evil games, but I don't play Roblox. No. I also play Championship Manager and FIFA. I do play football? Yes. It helps me with my mental health. Unfortunately, I had 2 serious knee operations in the space of 12 months over the last year or so. I think one was September 2024, and then I had another one in April of 2025, because I tore my cruciate and I had to have it fixed, and it took 2 operations to fix it. So I'm just on the road back. I am working through physio as well as my mental health. What team do you support? Well, Noggy Woggies, I am a lifelong Manchester United fan, and I have been for over 30 years. I also hold a season ticket at Old Trafford, so I am a Red. At Cairo Jew says IB. Hello, Cairo. Welcome. Cairo says I'm a Villa fan. Aston Villa are having a great season. I won't deny that. Very good team, very good manager, excellent players, legendary ground, good team Aston Villa. But I'm a United fan all the way. Get your questions in, guys. It's nice to get to know you, and let me know where you're all watching from, because it's always interesting to know where people are tuning in from, anywhere in the world. I don't just want to connect with people in the UK. I want a global community where everyone is a part of it. Everyone feels like they built this channel. Everyone feels like they're a part of my mental health recovery journey, and I'm a part of theirs. And that's what, that's all I want it to be. So my personal life is challenging with mental illness, but and I still manage to try keep a professional life as well. So Noggy Woggy says, Manu, I'm Arsenal fan. Arsenal play Spurs and Arsenal won 4-1. Yes, I just watched the Arsenal and Spurs game. Arsenal did win 4-1. Good victory. Keeps them top of the league. Keeps the pressure on Man City. And yes, Manchester United have had some good recent wins. So things are looking up under Michael Carrick for Manchester United. So let's see where we finish. I'm hoping we'll finish in the Champions League spots. And I'm sure we will. Dylan Gilbert says Man City will win the Prem. You might be right, Dylan. Man City might catch Arsenal, but at the moment it looks like Arsenal are holding on. They dropped points against Wolves, but they come back with a 4-1 win in the derby today. So it's going to be close. To be honest, I would rather Arsenal win the league than Man City, because I'm a Man United fan. But we did beat Man City a couple of weeks ago. But guys, don't forget, this is a live Q&A about mental health, recovery and trauma. So, if you have anything you want to talk about, if you're suffering in silence, if you've ever suffered with depression, anxiety, or whatever mental health disorder, and you want to talk about it, then get your comments in. I will read them all out, and I will give you an answer and respond as best as I can. But I have to reiterate, I'm not. Stephen says, "What's your views on medication?" I have a weird attitude towards taking meds, but I eat sleeping pills like Smarties, and I wouldn't recommend it. I'm completely dependent. Stephen, I think for me, medication has played a part in my recovery. I am on antipsychotics for my PTSD, and I am on antidepressants for my depression. So it has worked for me, but again, it doesn't work for everyone, and sometimes it takes a long time to get the right medication. Um, I'm still awaiting to see an ADHD specialist to be put on medication for that. So I think, in my own personal view, it's helped me, but I understand it might not help others, and other people might not, think that's the way for them. But I struggle sleeping anyway. I wish I could take sleeping pills, but I take so many antipsychotics and antidepressants that, I can't take anymore. But, with the nightmares and the flashbacks, I struggle to sleep anyway. Most of the time I'm just laying in the dark, in the silence. Um, yeah, and it's you can go to a dark place, when you're feeling emotionally void of any feeling, and sleep deprivation is really powerful, and it can have massive effect on you. But I'm sure, Stephen, you are strong enough to overcome the sleeping pills, and I'm sure you are strong enough to find a better way, like I'm trying to do. I don't want to be on medication for the rest of my life, so I need to find a way of, slowly reducing that once everything is clicked into place with the traumas. But um, I can't make a decision on that. That's down to my counselor. It's down to my doctor, and it's down to the mental health professionals to guide me in that respect about where to go in, the next direction in my mental health treatment for complex PTSD. And it's not just that. I've been diagnosed with complex PTSD. Diagnosed. I don't just say I have it. I've been diagnosed with it. I've been diagnosed with clinical depression and anxiety disorder, and ADHD. So, my mind is like a fucking maze, um, and it never switches off. I've got the ADHD side of the brain and the PTSD side of the brain. The PTSD that doesn't want to let go of the past, and the past doesn't want to let go of me. And the ADHD is just on the go all the time, thinking about doing something, needing to do something. So those are my challenges, but many people across the world have many different challenges, and I just want to show them that together we can talk about these things, and be passionate about starting the conversation about mental health. I'm always anxious coming on live. Um, Stephen says, I can see you went to a dark place answering that question. I do agree, but I've tried so many kinds of meds. I probably need to find the right one. I appreciate your honesty. Stephen, you're right. And it probably is very visible that remembering 2022 when I tried to take my life twice, that was a very dark moment for me, and I relived that through nightmares and flashbacks. And those suicide attempts impaled in my brain, and I'll never forget them. But I found hope. I found a straw, a rope to hang on to, and that's what I'm doing. I'm trying to pull myself up every day. Most days, the reason I don't go live every day is because I'm unable to mentally, because of uh, how impactful the nightmares and the flashbacks are on my state of well-being. So I can only be honest with myself. There's no point in, is hiding how hard it is and how tough recovery is, because, I'd be lying to other people and I'd be lying to myself. I need to be honest, and in the hope of inspiring someone to go and get the help that they need, because I don't want anyone to be at rock bottom like I was when I tried to take my life twice in 2022. I don't want people to feel like that. I don't want people to feel that dark, that lost, that lonely. And it's a very sobering thought that I felt that way. And I could not be here today. And that makes me very thoughtful, and very aware that life is precious. And tomorrow is promised to no one. So whatever you're going through, whatever you've been through, it's happened on purpose, because it's forging you into the person that ultimately that you're meant to be. But if you give up, you'll never be that person. So, accept that life is not easy. Life will test you, and once you do that, you can move forward. Stephen says, the one thing we can't do is lie to ourselves, as you always get caught out. Absolutely. The moment you start lying to yourself is the moment that you lose. You lose that battle every single day when you start lying to yourself. You need to admit your mistakes. You need to admit your flaws. You need to admit your insecurities and face them and work on them and face down those fears head on. Because if you don't, you've already lost. So don't give in. Don't give in to those feelings. I did. I almost did. I almost gave up in 2022 twice. Once in the February, once in the May. I'd given up on life. And I tried to end my life. It didn't work. And I'm still here. So I'm blessed, and I'm thankful for that. And look, all I want to try and do is help people and talk about it, and help people talk about what they're going through, because I think that's important. And I really appreciate this live so far, because it's all been about conversation. It's been about, back and forth questions. The last live I did on Wednesday evening was full of lots of people making stupid comments and hateful comments, and it almost put me off. Stop me going live. But I thought, no, I'm not going to let them win. They don't dictate my life. They don't dictate how I feel about myself. So I am continuing pushing forward. Pam Harper says hello. Good evening, Pam. How are you? Hope you're well. Hope you're having a nice weekend. This is a live Q&A to talk about mental health and recovery. So get your questions in. I will read them out and answer as best as I can and as honest as I can. Because you deserve honesty and I deserve honesty. Pam says, fine, thank you. Well, I'm glad you're doing okay, Pam, and I hope you're having a great weekend so far. Don't forget, guys, to like, comment, and subscribe. It is free to subscribe. It's nothing. It's only a click for you, but it means so much to me in the channel and the growth of the channel. So, if you can share, like, and comment. Pieces of a Broken Mind. It's a channel dedicated to mental health and recovery. So that is what I'm here for. That is what I try to do, and I'm just someone who's trying to help in my own way. I'm not a doctor. I'm not a therapist. Let me make that clear. That's a channel disclaimer. I am here to just be me, and for you to just be you, to talk about mental health. That's all I'm here for. And it's helped me. Talking on YouTube and making videos about mental health has really helped me in my journey through mental illness. So YouTube has also played a part in my recovery for mental health. Pam Harper says, good for you. I appreciate the support, Pam. Thank you very much. Because I think it's important that more people talk about their mental health. I think it's important that more people share their story. I watch a lot of mental health content. I listen to other people's stories. I resonate with them. I support them. I like their content. I watch their videos. I comment on their videos. I try to support everyone who talks about mental health, because I think the more people that talk about it, the more people we can save, because a conversation is a powerful thing, and a conversation about mental health can save a life. So that's how important our words can be. So I think it's important that not just me, but for everyone who talks on YouTube, that we continue to continue starting the conversation around mental health. Mike says, "What made your mental health dip?" Well, good question, Mike. In February of 2022, I had a full mental breakdown. And at that point, in my life, I was going to work as normal. I was, I went to work as normal that day. I've had a long career, a long successful retail career in retail management and store management, and I was in work as normal. I went to work as normal that day, opened the store as normal, done all my the morning bits to get the store ready, and then something in my brain happened. I'd been, for a long time, for many, many months, I was self-harming, and I would do that while I was working as well. And on my break times and my lunch hour, I would go to the men's toilets and self-harm just to get through the day. And it came to a head in February of 2022. On that day, I snapped. I left work. I went home. And that's when I tried to end my life. I'd accepted my life was over. That's when I tried to end my life. The reason I was unsuccessful is because I texted my brother and I told him that I was going to do it. And that text ultimately saved my life. And now I suffer with complex PTSD around that breakdown, those suicide attempts, and the depression. What was the root cause? The root cause I'm still working through in trauma therapy. Many traumas have happened in my life, and they are very personal to me. Centers around abuse. I won't go into too much detail because it's confidential between me and my therapist. But what I will say is, there is a lot of unresolved issues and trauma relating to my past and family. So, yeah, I can't, I'm not going to say exactly what it is, because I haven't worked through all those issues myself. But what I will say is it's down to a lot of trauma centered around, the past and mistakes that I might have made and other people might have made. Pam says, "Thank you for sharing." Well, look, thank you, Pam, and thank you for the comment. I can't, one day I will share exactly why I was in therapy, but until I'm out of therapy and recovered, I'm not going to do that. All I can tell you is that I have my mental health disorder diagnosis. I've been diagnosed by mental health professionals with complex PTSD, clinical depression, ADHD, and an anxiety disorder. And that is what I'm working through right now. And, back then, have you been sectioned? In 2022, when I tried to end my life the first time, I did have emergency mental health care for a short space of time. And I was quickly put into therapy by my parents. My mum and dad were paying for private therapy because there was such a long waiting list. So they took me private in the UK, and I had help immediately, and that's what I've been doing ever since. Um, so I haven't been sectioned per se, but I have received emergency mental health support from the NHS and Mind, which are a mental health charity, similar to the Samaritans in the UK. Onlyme.com says, I think more people are going through the exact same things you mentioned, but just see it as normal. Thank you for your comment, onlyme.com. I think a lot of people will resonate with some of the things that I'm feeling. Look, I'm no saint. I've made mistakes in the past. And if I could go back and change it, if I could go back and do things differently, then I would. But you can't, and sometimes that catches up with you in life, and sometimes if you don't face it, then it's gonna come back on you and pull you back in. So, you know, I admit that I have and will have and still have issues that are unresolved in my mind. And until I resolve those issues, I'll never be safe. I'll never be free of my mind. I'm still a prisoner to my past, and I need to be able to move on. But I think it's important that we understand in that respect, that is, it doesn't matter what you've been in the past. What matters is what you're becoming. And I think that's what my therapist is working me towards. And hopefully one day I can share the exact reasons why I'm in therapy and why I received emergency trauma care. And obviously, being that down, that depressed at the time where you're suicidal and you try to end your life, that's rock bottom. I was at rock bottom in 2022. And there was not only the February attempt and the breakdown, I tried again in the May. So once you've done that, that lasts with you up here. And I see it every day. And I see it every night I close my eyes. I see those days, those 2 days, amongst other things, but mainly those 2 days I see in flashbacks and nightmares about the suicide attempts. So Pam says, I've suffered from a mood disorder for 28 years and I've been sectioned many times. Well, Pam, I'm sorry to hear that, but you're here, you've survived, and 100% of your bad days, you've survived because you're here today. So be proud of yourself for that and keep moving forward. You're strong enough to keep going. And I can tell if you've come back from that many setbacks with your mental health, then you can survive. You've got this. Onlyme.com says, good luck with whatever your goals are. Thank you very much, onlyme.com. My goals is to grow this channel and talk about mental health and just try and help people and, just resonate with people, talk to people, human to human. And not rely on AI or not rely on, social media, text messages and platforms. Genuine human connection. That's what I want. And that's all I want to do when I talk about mental health, is show people that if I can talk about mental health, if I can come back from those dark times in 2022, then you can do it. So I think that's important. Pam Harper says, thank you. Thank God you're feeling better now, and thank you. No, thank you, Pam, for watching the live. Thank you for supporting the live, and thank you for still being here. You should be proud of yourself if you've come back that many times. And I will say this, if you've survived mental illness, if you survived any type of addiction, you have something in here, because a lot of people didn't. A lot of people gave up. A lot of people didn't wake up today, but you did. You have something in here that they'll never be able to take from you. And never lose that, Pam. Never lose that. You are important. You matter. And the world is a better place with Pam Harper in it. So bless you. And thank you for the support. Get your questions in, guys. Pam says thank you. You're very welcome, Pam. You're very, very welcome. Don't have to thank me. You have made my day by just being a part of my life and interacting with me. So thank you. Thank you for your support. And this channel would be nothing without viewers, without people who want to talk about mental health. So thank you all for being here, and thank you to everyone who might watch later on, who might come back to this, who's not watching live. Get in the comments below. I reply to all my comments. I think it's important that I reply to everyone who takes time out of their day to watch something I've done. It's important to realize that you can only have a big YouTube channel if people want to watch it, if people want to interact and people want to engage. And I understand that. I know my audience is only going to be big if people actually watch. So it's down to you guys that people that I'm still here 4 years on, uploading content about mental health. And I think that's important. I have 2 live Q&A sessions a week. I do a Wednesday evening, 7 p.m. till 8 p.m. UK time. And I do every Sunday evening, 7 p.m. to 8 p.m. UK time. So I have 2 live Q&A sessions every single week. This is night 4. This is my 4th Q&A, so they've been going well. Hoping they grow, hoping they attract more people, hoping to resonate and connect with more people, and I hope to show that mental health is the most important subject in the world that is not talked about enough. And I don't want people to feel the way I did. I don't want people to feel as low as I was, because when I think about it, when I look back, God, I was fucked. I was fucked. My therapist, Pam says, I hope your therapy helped. Yes, it does. I have a great counsellor. She has done some great work with me, and she saved my life. So, and I have the best mum in the world. She saved my life too. Just being the best mum in the world, and my son's an inspiration also, but my therapist has saved my life as well. And I'll never be able to thank her enough for what she did for me at my lowest point in my life. And I'll always work with my therapist, even after, I'll keep it on even after my therapy is finished, because I think it's important that we have someone to talk to. I think it's important that we have a coach, a guide, someone who knows you, someone who's worked with you, someone who knows your situation. So I'll always pay to see my counsellor and therapist, because therapy in the UK, the waiting lists are ridiculous. So I've had to pay for my own, and my parents have helped me out with that. So look, I owe my life to my therapist. Get your questions in, guys. This is a live Q&A for 1 hour on my channel, Pieces of a Broken Mind, Mental Health and Recovery. I hope you guys like the content. I hope you... Pam Harper says, fantastic of your parents to support you. Yeah, both my mum and dad have supported me through these challenging times, and you need to have good people around you who genuinely want the best for you, because you can't do it alone, and if you try to do it alone, it's a very lonely battle. That's why I chose them. That's why I went from the career I was in before the breakdown in 2022 to changing the direction of my professional career, and doing something else and becoming a coach. I whilst I've been going through therapy and my mental challenges, I didn't on the good days I didn't just do nothing. I studied, I researched, I um I thought to myself, what can I do to give back to the mental health community? I didn't want to become a counselor or a therapist because that takes too long. And it could trigger me in certain ways. So I thought to myself, the best thing I can do, and I came across the job role by chance by watching a video on YouTube, life coaching. And I thought, what is that? What is that? What is life coaching? So I studied, I done the diplomas. I now have 6 different diplomas in coaching, which I could show you. I could show you all. If you want to see those, I have 6 coaching diplomas now. And in my professional life, I am a life coach. I have my own coaching business. I have my own coaching website. I have diplomas in life coaching, advanced life coaching, life purpose coaching, spiritual life coaching, ADHD coaching, and advanced ADHD coaching. I have all of those diplomas. So I didn't just sit around and do nothing on my good days. When I was able to mentally, I pushed myself, because I'd had enough of being nothing. I've had enough of being a bum. I had enough of feeling like I'm nothing. And I wanted to help people, and I thought coaching was the best way. Coaching was the best way for me to not only use the 20 plus years of experience that I had in high level retail management I had transferable skills to become a coach. So I have all of those diplomas. I can flip my camera, if you want to, and show you my diplomas if you guys want to see them. That's amazing. I might have, Pam, if you do want to employ me, then yeah, happy to. I am taking on new clients at the moment. I do have a website. It's www.vegasvisionarycoaching.com. And my name is Dominic, by the way. So nice to meet you, Pam. My name is Dominic. Would you like me to flip the camera so you can see my diplomas? And I'll go over to the window ledge where all my diplomas are. If you just search Vegas Visionary Coaching on Google anyway, you should find my website. I am a certified professional life coach, and I do have a coaching business. That's my professional life. In my personal life, my battle is mental illness. And the reason I'm a good life coach, the reason I make a good life coach is because I have real lived experience of being at rock bottom. Through mental illness, and it's not just I've just come on you, or everything that I've gone through over the last 3 or 4 years is documented on YouTube. You can see me physically talking about my mental health. I've documented every single way of the journey. So I will show you all quickly now. Let me flip the camera. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's my workstation. Got my Pennywise balloon there and my laptop. That's where I do my work from. This is my business card. Certified life and business coach. So look, if I can do all that, if I can turn my life around, then you guys can turn your lives around. So recovery is possible. And if I can be a life coach, then you can chase your dreams. Work hard, dream big, and never give up. Stephen says, no need, mate. I can see and believe. Look, thank you, Stephen. I really appreciate that. But honestly, if you do genuinely want to see my story and you know for the coaching side of it, just check out the website. As I said, it's www.vegasvisionarycoaching.com, and you'll see. And on the homepage, it shows all of my diplomas, all of my story about what I've been through, where I've come from, and why I became a life coach. So, and I do have a YouTube channel for my life coaching as well. So, and that's Vegas Visionary Coaching. So, look, I appreciate everyone who has joined my live. I appreciate your comments. I appreciate you for showing me that there are human beings out there with kindness in their hearts instead of the toxic feelings that I see everywhere else. And I help people now through coaching. Pam Harper says, I'll check it out. Thank you very much, Pam. Pam, I would really appreciate that. Like I said, it's, you know, you can either, you know, go, you can either book a call or schedule a call for life coaching online, or you could just send me an email direct. My email is on the website as well, and my TikTok is on the website as well. So yeah, I'm not just on YouTube, I'm on TikTok, and both for Pieces of a Broken Mind. I do share the same videos. My mental health content gets uploaded to both my TikTok page and my YouTube page for this channel. And then for my life coaching channel, I have a separate TikTok page and a separate YouTube account. So, you know, it's interesting. It's challenging, you know, being mentally ill, but running a business and being a coach. You know, a lot of people told me I couldn't do it. A lot of people said it won't succeed. A lot of people told me that no one wants a life coach these days. But when you research life coaching, and when you do your research, it's a multi-million-dollar industry, life coaching. And I can be a life coach because of my lived experience of mental illness. I've lived it, I've survived it, I'm surviving it, and I grew as a person, and I've got my diplomas. I worked for each and every single one of those diplomas. I worked my ass off, and I got them. Pam says Keddy Soldier had one. Like I said, there's many life coaches. You know, the most well-known life coaches are people like Tony Robbins, Jay Shetty, David Goggins. You know, but there's many more. Mel Robbins, for instance. But there's so many. And I decided to be a life coach because at my worst, at rock bottom, people saved my life, and I want to help people now. That's my purpose, and that's my professional life. But here, right now, this channel, this is about mental health. This is about being honest with myself. This is about being honest with you and sharing my journey through mental illness. But don't forget to subscribe on here and also follow me on TikTok. My TikTok is doing quite well. I have over 30,000 followers on TikTok for my Pieces of a Broken Mind, mental health and recovery. So if you do watch TikTok a lot, don't forget to jump over there and follow Pieces of a Broken Mind on there as well. So great videos. They're the same videos that's on my YouTube channel. But you know, it's about awareness. It's about being on different platforms. Also on Instagram, trying to grow the business, trying to grow the life coaching business separately, and then trying to grow this message as well. So Pam Harper says, God bless you, and I hope your business, I hope you prosper. Thank you very much, Pam. Thank you for subscribing. That means a lot to me. Thank you very much. Really appreciate everyone who's done that, who's taken the time today to be a part of my life, be a part of this journey. And one day when my mind is fixed, you all would have played a part in my mental health recovery. So thank you, everyone. Thank you to everyone who has ever watched, liked, commented, or subscribed to my channel. And it means the world to me, and it gives me the purpose to keep going. So thank you very much. Because I couldn't do it without you guys, and I couldn't do it without my therapist, and I couldn't do it without my mum, and I couldn't do it without my son, and I couldn't do it without my dad. So thank you, everyone. Thank you to you all as well for being so nice, being so understanding, and allowing me to be honest with you guys, and allow me to be as blunt and as honest about mental health as I can be, because I think, you know, by being honest, you can't sugarcoat what happens when you have mental illness. Yes, you know, you see this now, you wouldn't think that I suffer with mental illness, but mental illness is one of those things that you can't see. It's invisible. I can look normal, but be fucked on the inside. So remember that when you're out and about, or you're seeing people, talking to people, meeting new people, you never know what's going on behind closed doors. Always choose to be kind. It takes nothing and costs nothing to be kind. You never know what that person is going through, and one wrong word can set them on a path that they don't come back from. So choose to be kind. And if any of you genuinely want to work with a life coach, my life coaching business, which is separate to this channel, but it is very affordable. It is built on real experience, lived experience, and I can help you gain clarity, purpose, and perspective for the future. And I can help you connect with yourself again. And that's the most important thing. Because let me remind you, the most important relationship you will ever have in life is the one that you have with yourself, because you're with yourself 24 hours a day. So why not make that relationship the relationship that means the most to you? The best relationship you'll ever have is the one that you have with yourself, because you're with yourself all the time. Remember that. And don't forget that. You matter. You all matter. What you're going through is valid. Your feelings are valid. And we can change things together. Change starts here on this channel. But I've been live for an hour. That is me done for this weekend. Thank you to everyone who's watched. Thank you to everyone who's commented. Thank you to everyone who's been a part of this live. Don't forget to go back and watch some of my older content. You'll see some very emotional videos, very honest videos. Look, I will say one thing. I'm not the best YouTube editor. I'm not the best video editor. I'm not the best effects. You know, I'm not the most tech savvy guy. My videos are basic, but they're honest. And that's all I can say. But thank you, everyone. Look after yourself. Look after your family and friends. Thank you, Pam. You're very welcome, Pam. And thank you for talking to me tonight. Thank you very much. You have made my night. You stay blessed, and keep watching and look after yourself, because I know you can do it. Keep up the good work. Keep up the strength, and never give in. I will be live again Sunday evening. No, it's Sunday evening now. I will be live again Wednesday evening at 7 p.m. No, next week I'll be live Thursday 7 p.m. because Wednesday 7 p.m. is Wednesday is my son's 18th birthday. So I will be live Thursday 7 p.m. next week, and then again Sunday 7 p.m. next week. So look after yourself. Stephen, thank you very much, my friend. Hope you have a great weekend. Look after yourself. Look after your family and friends, and I'll speak to you all soon. Take care. Goodbye.